I once bought a massive sofa for my tiny apartment, and it was a complete disaster. I couldn't open my front door fully, constantly stubbed my toes, and the room felt like a padded cell. Navigating dimensions, scale, and comfort in tight spaces is usually a nightmare where you sacrifice style for size or comfort for floor clearance. But after testing dozens of compact couches, I found the perfect balance. Stick around, because the number one pick completely redefines what small space seating can actually feel like. 7. Hanherry Loveseat Sofa. When I first brought the Hanherry Loveseat into the testing studio, I was genuinely optimistic about its compact footprint and how easily it maneuvered through tight apartment hallways. Measuring just right for those awkward, empty corners, it initially seemed like a solid solution for anyone desperate to carve out a tiny reading nook or a secondary seating area in a studio apartment. The visual aesthetic right out of the box leans heavily into a modern, minimalist vibe that doesn't demand too much visual weight in a room, making it easy to blend into almost any existing decor setup. The chenille fabric is undoubtedly the highlight of this particular piece, offering a surprisingly soft and textured feel against the skin. I spent a few afternoons lounging on it to gauge its everyday usability, and the removable cushions do make routine cleaning significantly more manageable. It functions adequately as a secondary spot to tie your shoes or sit for a quick cup of coffee before heading out the door, fitting perfectly at the foot of a bed or in a small home office where space is at an absolute premium. However, extended testing quickly revealed some glaring structural realities that you need to be deeply aware of before making a purchase. After just a few days of heavy use, the seat cushions began to flatten out noticeably, completely lacking the dense foam resilience required for a primary living room couch. The armrests also feel incredibly hollow and insufficiently padded, meaning you could distinctly feel the hard wooden frame underneath if you lean against them with any real pressure while watching a movie. 6. Zinus Loveseat. Putting it together took barely 20 minutes, and all the pieces slid into their designated brackets with a satisfying click, which is a massive relief when you're setting up furniture alone in a cramped space. It has a very defined, boxy silhouette that immediately anchors a small room without overwhelming the square footage, providing a neat, organized look to the living area. From a design perspective, it leans into a very traditional, almost mid-century adjacent aesthetic with its clean lines and straightforward upholstery. The woven fabric feels relatively durable to the touch, and the elevated legs provide a nice amount of clearance underneath, which is a fantastic visual trick for making a small room feel slightly more open and airy. I found it quite useful as a formal sitting piece when hosting a quick get-together with friends, as it keeps everyone sitting upright and engaged. But when it comes to actual relaxation, the Zinus falls incredibly short of expectations and delivers a rather punishing experience. Sitting on this love seat feels remarkably similar to waiting in a doctor's office. The cushions are stiff as a board and offer virtually no give, contouring, or plushness to your body. Furthermore, the seat depth is painfully shallow, making it practically impossible to curl up your legs, sink in, or find a comfortable position for an evening of binge-watching your favorite shows. While I appreciate the logistical ease of getting the Zinus into a small apartment building, the sheer lack of comfort makes it nearly impossible to recommend as a primary seating option. It works perfectly fine for a reception area, a small business office, or a formal sitting room where people only stay for 20 minutes at a time. 5. Mopio Chloe Futon Sofa Bed. Stepping into much more positive territory, the Mopio Chloe Futon Sofa Bed completely changed my perspective on what budget-friendly, multifunctional furniture can achieve in a tight space. As soon as I set it up, the vintage-inspired chevron, tufting, and sleek, tapered legs brought an instant infusion of style into the testing room. It successfully bridges the gap between retro charm and modern practicality, offering a visual appeal that punches way above its price point, while maintaining a remarkably slim and unobtrusive profile. The standout feature here is, of course, the split-back convertible mechanism, which I tested extensively to see how smoothly it operates in real-world scenarios. With just a quick push and pull, you can independently recline either side of the backrest for custom lounging angles or to drop the whole thing entirely flat. I found this incredibly useful for those lazy Sunday afternoons when you want to read halfway reclined, or when you need an impromptu sleep surface for a sudden overnight guest but lack a spare bedroom. Comfort-wise, the Mopio Chloe strikes a very sensible, well-engineered balance that works wonderfully for a convertible piece of furniture. While it maintains the inherent firmness you expect from a futon to ensure the sleeping surface remains supportive for the back, the seating foam is dense and forgiving enough for extended movie nights. I never felt the internal hinges or hard framing pressing through the upholstery, which is a common, painful nightmare with lesser futons in this specific category. Overall, this piece is an absolute workhorse for small studio apartments, dual-purpose guest rooms, or home offices that occasionally host visitors. It gives you the beautiful aesthetic of a high-end, mid-century sofa while secretly harboring the utility of a spare bed, without taking up an inch of unnecessary floor space. 4. HONBAY Reversible Sectional Sofa. Finding a sectional that doesn't completely swallow a small living room feels impossible, but the HONBAY Reversible Sectional Sofa managed to fit perfectly during my rigorous spatial tests. The genius of this design lies in its compact, apartment-friendly footprint combined with a fully reversible chaise lounge that adapts to your environment. I spent time configuring it on both the left and right sides to see how easily it changes, and the transition is totally seamless, allowing you to rearrange your living room layout on a whim without buying new furniture. Beyond the flexible layout, the functionality baked into this sofa is exactly what small space dwellers desperately need to maintain an organized home. The chaise cushion lifts up smoothly to reveal a surprisingly deep storage ottoman, which I immediately utilized to hide away bulky winter blankets, throw pillows, and stray board games. Keeping clutter entirely out of sight is the golden rule of small living rooms, and having this built-in storage compartment is a massive, room-saving advantage that keeps the space looking pristine. When it comes to lounging, the HONBAY delivers a very respectable and highly enjoyable level of comfort for daily, heavy use. The fabric is soft, yet clearly woven tightly enough to withstand the friction of daily life, and the seat cushions offer a pleasant, bouncy support that doesn't aggressively compress or sag over time. I found a chaise section to be the absolute best spot in the house, offering plenty of room to stretch your legs out fully without bumping your shins into the coffee table. This sectional is the ultimate middle ground champion for couples or small families trying to maximize their space. 3. Linsy Home Modular Loveseat. True modularity is a rare find in compact furniture, but this system arrives in individual seat boxes that you can lock together in whatever configuration suits your current, specific reality. I loved experimenting with the heavy-duty steel latches, snapping the pieces together to create a rigid, unified sofa that showed absolutely no signs of drifting apart on hard wooden floors. The sheer utility of the Linsy Home system goes far beyond its clever puzzle piece construction and sturdy hardware. Every single seat module lifts up effortlessly to expose cavernous storage compartments, multiplying the hidden storage capacity of your tiny living room exponentially. Furthermore, the entire fabric covering is completely removable and machine washable. I deliberately spilled a cup of coffee on the armrest just to test this, and being able to strip the cover and toss in the wash is an absolute lifesaver for pet owners. Sitting on a Linsy Home sofa reveals a very deliberate, highly supportive comfort profile specifically designed for proper posture and long-term sitting. The high-density foam leans slightly toward the firmer side, but it contours beautifully to your lower back, and the perfectly sized armrests add subtle convenience to the overall lounging experience. The backrest angles hit right at the sweet spot, meaning you can work on a laptop or watch a movie without constantly shifting around to find a better position. This is the ultimate survival tool for frequent movers, city dwellers, or apartment renters who never quite know what their next living room layout will look like. It provides incredible hidden storage, completely stress-free maintenance, and a magical ability to grow or shrink based on your current square footage limitations. 2. Crate and Barrel Lounge Classic Apartment Sofa. Taking a massive leap into premium heirloom quality territory, the Crate and Barrel Lounge Classic Apartment Sofa is an absolute masterpiece of scaled-down luxury design. The moment the delivery team brought this into the testing space, the entire atmosphere of the room elevated, showcasing a stunning level of craftsmanship. It carries the unmistakable weight, presence, and impeccable stitching of a massive high-end furniture piece, yet it is meticulously proportioned at just 73 inches to slide gracefully into tight urban living spaces. What makes this sofa so incredibly extraordinary is how it plays with dimensions to completely trick your brain into thinking you have more room. Despite its compact overall width, the seat depth is unbelievably generous, allowing you to pull your knees up, sit cross-legged, or sink deeply into the corners without ever feeling perched on the edge. I tested it with their performance fabric options, and the tightly woven upholstery feels luxurious to the touch while easily repelling everyday smudges, dust, and pet hair. The comfort level here is simply off the charts and requires a moment of genuine, silent appreciation for the engineering involved. The cushions feature a high-resiliency foam core wrapped in a thick, glorious layer of plush fiber, creating a sensation where you are supported but simultaneously enveloped by the sofa. Spending an entire weekend binge reading on this couch resulted in zero stiffness. It genuinely feels like a massive, oversized luxury family room couch that was magically shrunk down. While it is undoubtedly an investment piece that demands a higher budget, the Crate and Barrel Lounge Classic justifies every single penny through its flawless build quality and enduring comfort. 1. Sunday's Company Get-Together Two-Piece Modular Sofa. Claiming the absolute top spot on our list is the Sunday's Company Get-Together Two-Piece Modular Sofa, a piece of furniture that completely shattered my expectations of what small space seating can be. When I first settled into this sofa, it felt like a total revelation. It provides that highly sought-after, cloud-like aesthetic of massive luxury pit sectionals, but brilliantly condenses it into a two-piece format that fits flawlessly into a cramped apartment layout. The design execution here is flawless, hiding its modular nature so well that it looks like one seamless, bespoke piece of high-end designer furniture. I heavily tested the proprietary stain-resistant fabric, and it possesses a buttery, organic texture that feels incredibly soothing against the skin while remaining tough enough to handle daily life spills without panicking. The low profile and relaxed tailoring give the room an effortless, breezy vibe, making the surrounding space feel significantly larger, brighter, and far less cluttered. But where the Sundays Get-Together truly wins the crown is in its unparalleled, sink-in comfort that simply cannot be matched by anything else in its class. The seat proportions are incredibly deep, practically begging you to curl up for a nap. Yet the back cushions offer the perfect counter-resistance, so you never feel like you're sinking into a black hole. It wraps around you with a level of plushness that makes leaving the apartment genuinely difficult, instantly turning your tiny living room into the ultimate domestic sanctuary. This is, without a doubt, the greatest sofa for small living rooms on the market right now, blending incredible aesthetics with unbelievable performance. Ultra. That's all for today.